Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Cards Subject to Change. I'm going to get through the rigmarole that I need to get through and mention our sponsors. We are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook, Country Financial. But you'll notice we're not doing any fanfare, no opens, no BS today because we have a very special guest talking about a pretty serious subject today. Want to welcome back into the studio one of my favorite guests, Mr. Merrick Brave. Merrick, how you feeling today?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And we're just going to get right into it because this is an important weekend for SCW. I want to start back in March at the Oh Hell Yeah event. You announced this upcoming Saturday's event, Fight for Austin. That's why we're here tonight. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to kind of go into who Austin is, who his character is. Let us know about the person behind Garat because you talked about that in March. And for those who couldn't make the show, I want them to hear the story from you as to what's going on and why we're doing the event on Saturday.
Sure. So, for those who don't know who Garat is, he's this big, bad, evil, mysterious type character in the wrestling ring at SCW Pro and various other places around the Midwest. But in real life, we know him as Austin. The people around SCW, the people around Black and Brave Wrestling Academy, we know him as Austin Akery. And Austin came to us a little over 2 years ago to learn how to be a professional wrestler. Um, Ever since day one, he's been one of the most respectful, one of the most hardworking students, one of just the easiest students to be around. He's just he's very unassuming. He's a quiet guy. Some would even say he's a shy guy, but I like to think he just takes everything in and then figures out the best way he can give back to the community. So he's a great person. He's a good guy. Unfortunately, he's going through a tough time right now. Austin was diagnosed with lymphoma, cancer, recently while he was undergoing a procedure for an intestinal issue that he was having. This was after he underwent surgery for a broken wrist. He actually had a stroke a little over a year ago as well. So he's been dealing with a lot of different medical ailments. Unfortunately, culminating in this lymphoma diagnosis. So right now, Austin is being treated for cancer. He is receiving chemotherapy treatment. Unfortunately, it's not going great. The chemotherapy is having an adverse or he's having an adverse reaction to the chemotherapy and is dealing with an infection right now. So he's back in the hospital trying to fight that off. He originally had plans to make the event on Saturday at the Bluegrass Community Center. But he's in the hospital fighting off this infection. His body's really weak right now. He can't be around a lot of people. So he's not going to be able to make it this Saturday, but that's not going to stop us from putting on a kick-ass event so we can raise as much money to give to Austin so that he can help pay for his medical bills. Those bills are mounting. He had set an initial GoFundMe goal of $6,000 to deal with some of the initial bills associated with fighting this disease. He's surpassed that. Thankful to, he's surpassed that original goal with some generous donations from fans and some of his fellow brethren in the professional wrestling community. But obviously, he's going to have to up that now that he's dealing with some more issues and we're going to raise as much money for him as possible this Saturday so that we can help him get through these tough times and get him on the road to recovery.
Absolutely. And just so you listeners and watchers know, I do have the link to the GoFundMe in the description of the video. It'll be in the description of the audio replay when I post it everywhere in audio form. Merrick, tell us how the fundraiser event came to be, how you put it all together, and for those who have never been to an SCW show and maybe coming to for their first time, what they can expect to see on Saturday.
Sure. Well, I'll start with that question. We're giving a full 2-hour professional wrestling show. You're going to see championship matches. You're going to see you're going to see a battle royal. We got multiple tag team matches. We got a lot of action packed into this one, like we always do. It's a family friendly event, so feel free to bring the kiddos. We got kids as young as 6 months old coming out to these things, and it's a fun time for everyone. Tickets are only $10. We like to keep our prices low so the whole family can afford to come out. You got a family of four, it's only $40 for a night of entertainment. That's really not too bad. But as far as the idea to do this benefit show, it seemed like a no-brainer to me. We're putting on monthly events at the Bluegrass Community Center, as well as our events at Wildwood in Iowa City. We've got multiple other events in other venues planned for this summer as well. We'll announce those as we get a little bit closer to them. But it seemed like a no-brainer to me when I took a step back and asked how I could help and how our community could help Austin. What's the best way to do that? And obviously putting on a professional wrestling event and getting the entire community involved that way, that stood out to me right away. And so I talked to some of the people who helped me run SCW Pro. I talked to our performers. Our performers are graciously donating the pay that they would normally receive from an event like this. They're donating their pay to Austin to help with his medical bill. So I talked with them about, how we had this opportunity to make a difference and help somebody who really needed our help. And they were all in. I talked to, Seth Rollins, Tyler Black, Colby Lopez, my friend Colby. I talked to him about this. He's also a trainer of Garot down at the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy. So he was all aboard as well. So once everybody was on board and willing to put in the time, the energy, the effort into making this happen, then I knew we were well on our way to being able to help provide some relief to Austin, relief which he desperately needs. So it really wasn't too difficult of a decision to make this happen. And so now we're on the promotional trail. I've been on KWQC Channel 6. I did an interview with WHBF Channel 4 News. They've been gracious enough to help get the word out about this event. And now I'm here with you, Chris, and I'm thankful to you for having me on here as well.
Absolutely. Now, I know proceeds are going to help Austin's fight with cancer. Is there anything else going on? Do you have any kind of raffle or auction or 50-50 raffle, anything like that going on to help further the funds that are raised on Saturday night?
Yes, absolutely. I actually just picked up some autographed Seth Rollins merchandise that he hand signed. We're going to have some Becky Lynch memorabilia as well. I think that'll be the first time we've had some Becky memorabilia in our raffles for things like these. So we'll have some Becky Lynch merchandise. We'll have some Seth Rollins merchandise with autographs on those. We'll be raffling that off with all proceeds, 100% of the proceeds being donated to Austin to help with his medical bills here. So we're really pulling out all the stops. One of our awesome fans, I want to shout him out here, Troy Dobbins. He makes these really cool trading cards of the wrestlers. And I believe he gives them to the wrestlers for free so they can sell them on these events. Well, he gave SCW some Garot cards, and it's really cool because when you flip them on the other side, there's a QR code that you can scan that'll take you directly to Austin's GoFundMe. So you can show that to friends and family. They can scan the code and they can contribute a couple bucks if they're so inclined to do so as well. But Troy Dobbins donated some of those cards. Those will be for sale at the merchandise table, like they were last month in Bluegrass as well. And again, we're just trying to get as much money into Austin's pockets as possible to help ease his burden during this difficult time. And quite frankly, going back to your question of why we decided to do this, we are a close-knit community here. And if any of our performers or personalities or anybody like that was going through something like this, I would be more than happy to put on an event for them as well. And I, tend to think if I had issues of my own with, fighting a disease as terrible as cancer, that people around me would come together and help me as well. So, we lift each other up, we help each other as best as we can. And we're hoping to do that with this event this Saturday.
And I want to throw out, you haven't said this word here on the podcast, but you said it back in May or in March. Wrestling, as always to me, because I've been a part of it, I'm doing this podcast, it always feels like a family. Sure. And one thing you do is you help family.
Absolutely.
You hold them
Absolutely.
up, lift them up when they're down.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I think some people look at that and maybe they laugh at it a little bit. Oh yeah, SCW is family or wrestling is family, but it really is. You form a bond with people. That doesn't mean you don't get mad at people sometimes. That doesn't mean you don't get a little annoyed with somebody and you need a break from hanging out with them or seeing them or whatever. We've all been through that. Hell, me and my business partner Seth Rollins, we've had our spats throughout the years. But that's why it is a family, because you come back together and you forgive these transgressions and you come together to help each other out in times of need. And that's what we're doing here for Austin on Saturday.
Absolutely. Merrick, we'll wrap things up. I don't want to take much more of your time, but do you have any final thoughts, any final words you want to say to our audience about Austin or the show coming up on Saturday?
Sure. We're putting on events all the time. SCW routinely puts on over 30 events a year, sometimes upwards of 35, 36 events every single year. And we like to fancy every event as a big event, and of course we've got our version of the Royal Rumble. That's the Prestige Rumble in January. And we have our version of WrestleMania. That's Epic every April. And then we have our anniversary either in late August or early September every single year. And those are massive shows. But in my opinion, this is the biggest show, the most important show that we've ever had. And if I had a message to the fans, it would be, let's make this our most successful show ever. And I'm not taking a single dime from this. Our performers aren't taking a single dime from this. We want to make this the biggest show in the history of SCW Pro so that we can help Austin through these tough times. And with the community's help, with the fans of SCW and professional wrestling in the area, with their help, we can absolutely do that.
For sure. Merrick, I want to thank you. This definitely transcends just a wrestling show. It means so much more than that. So I'll share your sentiment. Come on out, support Austin in his time of need. Let's make this the biggest event the Bluegrass Community Center has ever seen. Uh, that's going to wrap things up here. Again, thank you, Merrick, for coming on, talking about the event. We look forward to seeing you all in Bluegrass. And Austin, I can speak for my partner, Nick, who's not here tonight. We wish you a speedy recovery, my friend. Thank you so much, and we'll see you. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you for having me on, Chris. Being able to spread the word about something like this, it really helps in getting as many people involved as possible. So I appreciate you for having me on tonight.
My pleasure. We will see you at our regular time Sunday on Card Subject to Change. But final note, go support Austin at Fight for Austin at the Bluegrass Community Center this Saturday.